What's going on, everybody? New video today. Uh, won't be the Xbox One or the Eyeball 360. Although before we get into what this video is, although you've probably read the title, I would like to show we did get the pump top for this one here, and it looks like it's much better than the one we've got. Same mounting points, but it's about, I don't know, quarter, half inch smaller in diameter, which is perfect. Although, like I said, I'm still waiting on the pump for this one. Who knows, maybe we'll end up using this pump in that one and the other one in here. Also with this pump, it has the ability to either cap the top port, or you can screw in a reservoir there, which I happen to have this one here. That would screw in there, and if we did that, we wouldn't need the other reservoir in there. This would just stick out here instead of cutting all this up, which would be a lot more difficult. But yeah, comes with that. So we'll be diving into that very soon. Waiting on the pump for this, so this will be set aside. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way for now. Actually, before that, I used this black faceplate that was all busted as kind of a template for the kind of paint job I'm looking to do on this build there. It's kind of a green color shift on one side, and then I sprayed it a darker, kind of an orange red on the other side. Just kind of a template. I'm going to do something similar to that. Anyway, let's move this out of the way. Okay, good enough for now. So, today we're going to look at something very unfortunate. Sold the Halo 3 edition Xbox 360, and it is back. As you can see, it was shipped back in the same box, just completely destroyed. Very unfortunate. It was also apparently soaking wet. Buyer who bought this gave it some time to dry and at least plugged it in and said it was working fine. However, it did sustain some damage. They also sent me their hard drive from their 360E, 500 gigabyte. They want me to swap into the hard drive. We're going to do as much repairs as we can. First, we got to see how bad it is. I do know that part of the shell is busted. I'm going to try to glue that together. Worst case scenario, that'll work. Otherwise, I tried looking into another shell. There just isn't another one I can find that was even remotely in good condition like this one. They were either all scratched up, cracked. Biggest problem was the USB door seems to be jammed on this one or broken. We'll have to look. Which really sucks because it's hard to find an old 360 where that's not damaged. But yeah, let's pull this out and see what we're working with. Okay, so we've got their hard drive. Looks like they already took it out of the case. I can't remember exactly the 360E, if it just looks like this or if it has that case on it like the Slim, but either way, looks like there's no screws at all in the hard drive. It must have come apart. We've got our LED strip in here, so I mean the outside doesn't seem to really be damaged. Looks like the screws might have stripped out. See, we got the button, the release, and our spring there. Don't see anything cracked around here. We're going to redo this whole window anyway just to make it better. And like I said, it looked like it plugged in and was fine. Our harness is okay. LED strip is okay. I do have a spare one just in case. And we should just be able to swap out the 60 gigabyte, I think, is in there, and put in his 500 that has all of his info on there. And then we will have to get, I've got spare screws that we'll put in. Hopefully they're not all completely stripped. Otherwise I have a new, I can just get a different bottom piece on here, or top piece. I'll just cut a new window that has stuff that isn't stripped out, so that's good. That's step one. Let's look at the system. Alright, for the most part it seems okay. You can see this is the corner that got damaged, and I would like to see, shut that thing off. Obviously, we're going to fully take this apart and inspect everything, even though they said it worked. Super bummer that this door is broken off. It actually seems like the hinge is okay, that maybe the spring just got pushed out, and unfortunately the same with our door right here. Real bummer, because like I said, this thing was in great shape. Here's the broken piece here. It looks like it's just really one piece. There might have been another small piece that got pushed onto the inside somewhere. The actual vent here on the bottom seems okay. Actually, it's a little cracked right there. I'll see if I have another black vent. I might. So yeah, such a bummer. And trust me, this is not how this was packaged when I sent this kind of condition. It was packaged very well. Like I said, the R2-D2 system and the Grand Theft Auto 1 both arrived unharmed. I have sold over 200 items. I've never had something like this happen. Luckily, the buyer has been super helpful, very nice, fully understanding the situation. They wanted to keep this no matter what. I gave them, obviously, the refund that they gave me to cover shipping it back and all that. So, yeah, I'm going to take this apart. At the very least, I think gluing this on, you're not really going to be able to notice it. They also said where it was damaged, obviously you don't see it from where they have it mounted. But at the very least, like I said, we're going to fix this. Hopefully it's just the spring that broke. And same with this door here. And then we're going to fully assess everything else on the inside. Just make sure nothing got broken or bent or anything like that. Faceplate just pops right off. And as you can see, little spring there. There's one on that one. There's not one on that one. And the little peg is broken. Luckily, these are just black. I'm pretty sure I have an extra one. So we'll just swap that out. And then you can see this door doesn't appear to be cracked. It's still attached. But again, there's no spring in there. Spring is gone. So I have plenty of extra springs. Only annoying thing about this one is it has a metal bracket there. So you kind of have to break that metal bracket off and then glue it back in place. It looks like the one side already broke off, that little peg. So maybe we can, without breaking the other one off, slide our spring back in there. And then the faceplate should be good. It doesn't look like there's any other cracks or anything on there. I went ahead and just start taking these off. And this is just annoying. One of the rubber feet came off of there, which one was missing when I first got this console, but I definitely replaced it. I'll have to put another one on. And just taking this off, you can see it's cracked here. I believe it had a crack back here. Yeah. And just annoyingly, like I said, this system didn't have any broken off pegs or doors on here. Both the back ones have broken off. Like I said, I'll have to go through and worst case scenario, if I don't have black ones, maybe I'll just paint flat black ones and hopefully color match everything so that it looks stock. And yeah, here's our bad damage. Now, I mean, oh, look at that. There's our spring for the memory card door. Perfect. I mean, you should be able to see this pretty easily. You can see the metal casing is warped. And, I mean, I've even received Xboxes that were just inside of a box with nothing else in it. Just loose inside of a box, and they showed up just fine. But I promise you, this was all wrapped together. It was full of popcorn peanuts and a bunch of other bubble wrap and all that kind of stuff. So just super unfortunate. But so yeah, let's go ahead and take off the top one. And in order to remove these, you can see it's just these pegs here. They slide in, and you literally just take a what what did I use? Just like a little tiny screwdriver that fits in these holes, and you just push the peg out while slowly pulling up. And we're going to do the same to the top now, see if that one's cracked. Okay, pop those pegs out. Everything up top looks okay. I mean, it actually looks just fine. There's no scratches or anything. So that's fantastic. Metal framing and everything up here looks okay. Nothing seems cracked. It looks like the brunt of the force was down here at the bottom. And not only did this crack off, but I've noticed, you can see the plastic is kind of whitened there, a little bit cracked. You can actually see part of the cardboard embedded in this crack here on the bottom. Now, like I said, luckily it's only on the back side. The sides still look like they haven't had any scratches or cracks. So, really think the best route here is to get this corner piece glued back on really nicely. You know, luckily it looks like it mostly came off in one piece. I can hear something rattling around in there. I'm sure there's a couple tiny pieces there, but I feel like once this is on and nice and snug on there, we'll barely be able to tell. And now in order to remove the rest, we're going to pop out. Oh, also, I'm glad all of these special trim pieces here look fine. And like I said, the DVD drive opens and closes, so the damage is really down here at the bottom. I do still have the other metal frame that originally came with this system that has the actual motherboard. Definitely going to swap that out. It's going to be a huge pain, but yeah, we're going to swap that out because we don't want this bent piece here. Although obviously everything's still clipped in fine and you wouldn't really notice that. It's not going to affect anything, but I'm just going to feel better to swap that out anyway. So yeah, now we need to pop these tabs and slowly separate the top from the bottom. This one, and then under the warranty sticker that's already been voided, and here. And then you have to slowly, I have a very specific knife that fits in these perfectly without chewing these up. These two are 6 tabs there, and then there's 2 on the bottom. It looks like it's not separating, so those tabs seem to be okay. So we're going to now remove the bottom half of this case. Okay, got these back tabs pushed off. It looks like we did lose this one here. Like I said, everything was still held very solid. Definitely had ones that were missing like half of these, and they were still fine. So I'm going to take this bottom piece out, see if we can get that little piece of cardboard or whatever out from there. Got cracked there. That's something else we'll have to glue back together. Just like that. Now, I know I'm not going to be able to make this perfect, like I said, with the refund. Darn cat's out of here. Okay. Like I said, with the refund, you're still going to get a great deal on this. Pop off the eject button, and now is where we remove the 6 long screws that hold our top piece on. Okay, got the 6 tall screws out. Now this top piece will just lift out, just like that. And there you go. There is that loose piece here. Looks like our LED strip started to come out. Like I said, I've got a new one to replace that. That's that other tab from the back side. Probably be able to just glue all that together as well. Put that over there. I mean, everything else seems fine on the inside. Like I said, I'm going to have to remove DVD drive. Look at that. Not sure what that would have came from. Oh, that's probably part of the, that broke off from the bottom vent there. Our fan seems good. I know our roll board is fine. Started coming up, but that's fine. While we are at it, I'm going to include this halo, extra halo faceplate. I just have to swap over a sync button and USB door so that he's got a second faceplate, since obviously the first one's not damaged, just the springs came out, so that's going to be fine, but still want to include a couple extra things for all the trouble. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So first thing we're going to do is fix the faceplate. Let's go ahead and take this memory unit B. You can see this one is fine, so we'll swap that over first, and then we will get a spring. I believe this is a spring for the USB door, so we'll pop that in and see if that's all good. Then our faceplate is done. Then we'll move on to the hard drive. Boom, easy peasy. Memory card A, memory card B. Opens and closes. That's all good. Now let's throw the spring in this bottom one. This is honestly was, to me, the most heartbreaking part, because so many of these are broken, and this one was in great shape. So let's see if we can get a spring in that one. Next step, this is our other metal chassis here. This has the board that won't put out video port. Trying to not make this video super long, but I also want to do it in one take. Not going to show everything, but basically all the little motherboard screws come out. Yeah, it looks like this one has all the screws in it too. So remove all those on both of them, and we're just going to swap this metal case over to this one, put all this stuff back in, redo the LED strip on the inside here, and like I said, try to get it to where the sensor is right by the vent, at least, so that you can hold the remote to it and change the colors if you want. Okay, this is the motherboard that was in it. You can see there's no more bend here. Put it in the new metal frame. We'll put that one back in the other one. That's, again, I said I would look into that one down the road, see if we can fix it. But anyway, this is the one that was originally sent to the client. So now we're in a non-metal or non-bend frame. Let's put all the screws back in. All the screws back in. Got our OEM fan back in with our 3-pin splitter. That is going to the orange fan that was mounted here over to our heat sinks. Same one I've got in the Tony Hawk Xbox. And now we'll plug in our DVD cord, put our DVD back in, our fan tunnel, then DVD drive. Then we'll run our LEDs back through. These ones all seem to work great. I'm going to try to, like I said, mount that sensor right where the vents are so you can actually use the remote on this one. Put the roll board back in, and then go ahead and test it out real quick before we put anything else on. Okay guys, I'm not rushing through the actual work here, I'm just trying to rush through the video. It's already, I'm sure, way too long. Like I said, this one has 2 cracks in it, and it's missing the rubber foot. So we've got this one, no cracks at all, even though it's missing one of the pegs, but that's fine. I'm going to take rubber feet off of this, and I'm kind of in contact with the buyer right now to verify other things I'm doing here. I was going to replace this whole thing, cut a new window in one, and have to repaint it black, and then probably do those just so it's all exactly the same color. But I asked them if I could just do that cool color shift I used on the Tony Hawk and Grand Theft Auto Xbox, just on these end vents, which wouldn't be OEM, but I think it would spice the whole thing up and just make it look really good. So we're going to pop this off. Okay guys, put that same kind of coat that was on the Tony Hawk one. Kind of see it here. Got that color shift, just put the matte clear over it. We'll let this stuff cure overnight. And I'm going to go super glue that other stuff and let that fully cure overnight. And then tomorrow after work I will pretty much be reassembling all this. Here's the hard drive cover. So this is all pretty much dry, at least at the touch. Not completely cured yet, but I'm going to put our window in there, maybe even do the frosted one instead, and then mount this in the middle. We've got our hard drive swapped out. This is this 500 gigabyte one. I'm going to also kind of change around the LED strip in here just to make sure it stays in there better. Here, getting this super glued back on. So all our clips are good, and kind of dried a little white there, but you won't see that. And finally, our faceplate. I'm very proud of this one. Very hard to fix these. You cannot really, without that little plastic peg, you're just not going to get it right on. So I used an old school method of using a twist tie, going through the center of that spring and feeding it through the metal part here, which again, this was super glued back on, and then twisting it here at the bottom. And as you can see, beautiful. Faceplate is now perfect. Very excited. So we're going to do a final assembly and then finish this video up. I know it's like probably way over 20 minutes long, but yeah, we're going to let this finish curing today. And then when I get back from work, we'll put it all back together. Okay guys, got the whole thing back together. I had it all together and realized that when it was in the upright position, the disk drive was doing the same thing as some of the other systems. So I took that apart, did the thing with the rubber band, realized one of the screws is kind of stripped out as well, fixed that so it's all held together. Now we're going to go ahead and turn this on. There we go. Didn't have the power plug in there already. Alright, so here we go. Got it hooked up to the projector real quick. There it goes. Everything's good. Disk drive opens and closes. Now that we have the sensor for the lights moved, here's an example of that. So now I can change these to whatever. Same with the ones in the hard drive. So you can see now we put it on fade mode. I'm just going to flash through all that, and if you want, you can just shut it all off. There's the off button. There we go. Shut them off, turn them on. Now I did the orange, or actually it was this orange. That kind of matched this. Alright, so this video unfortunately is going to get even longer. I'm not going to, I mean you can see here, there's a huge mess here, but there it is on the screen. Everything's good. I don't want to show you his content. Now, there's one more thing that was brought to my attention, and he asked about the parental controls. I have not come across this before, so I had to look up how to fix this. First thing we're going to do really quick is plug in, see if we got a game that's rated M, and see if that's going to not allow us to do that. If it won't, I've looked up how to fix this. There's lots of videos that tell you different codes to type in, but it really is different per system. What you really have to do is go to Microsoft, register an account, and the 360 is no longer on their drop-down menu, but you're going to go to Other, and you need the serial number from your system. You punch that in, and then basically it's going to allow you, it's going to give you the code that you need for your system, and then you go to a certain thing in the settings, and you type in kind of like a cheat code, button sequence, and then it will basically redo the whole system, bring it back to stock, take you to like when you have a brand new system and you're setting it up where you got to click English and then all of that. It will then ask you, do you want parental controls? You say no. You reset it all back to normal. Then I'll put his hard drive back in because I don't want to mess with anything that he's got on there. And then everything should be 100% good to go. So like I said, everything's working now. Got our USB door working. These doors are good. The Crack has been glued back together. All the lights are in. We've replaced the metal frame on there. And this is pretty much where we're going to end this video. Just trust me, I'm going to fix the parental control. And then finish letting all the glue and everything cure overnight. See, I've got the frosted window on here now. Everything's awesome. Then we're going to package this very well and get this shipped back to him in the morning. If you guys watched this entire video, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. And then, like I said, we're going to get back to the eyeball and the Xbox One. Still waiting on the pump for that one, but we've got the pump top for this, so we're going to get into that stuff. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Hopefully it won't be so long.